started working at the diner. It serves as a reminder to count your blessings, cause this town ain't fair. They'll put you down and leave you there, don't make them scared. Yeah, that's the truth. How they coming for you.
If you don't speak, then you won't get spoken to. People only see you when you up, then they notice you. Trying to be a legend, create lines that's quotable. Only the real shall last, and I only know a few. People when they feelings always acting emotional. Ain't about a check, then it ain't negotiable. Gotta show respect to the people that's posting you. Soon to be on posters posted up like the older dudes.
Now we aging like fine wine, how we supposed to do? Peep the shade on the timelines, this time posted cool.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's class. Super excited to be hanging out with you guys today. Let me know in the chat, what do you guys want to see today? Today I'm taking a request. I want to share with you guys whatever haircuts you're looking to learn. Obviously I can't do them all, but I will do as many techniques as I possibly can to help you guys out with haircutting. So I see you guys blowing up the chat. Super cool to see all of you guys. Let me know where you're from. Carly, what's up? Good to see you. Miss you here. Let me see if I can get, there we go. Just in case I have to use this computer, let me make sure it's going. There we go, it's loading up. Okay, so let me get in the chat and see what is going on with you guys. What do we got here? Debbie said, that's cool. We got Lob for wavy hair. Hi, graduated Bob. Cut for people who air dry their hair. That's a good request. What else we got? Been asking forever since you've been posting how to cut a flip. I like that. I like that idea. Let me see what. Let me look at some flip haircuts here. I'm gonna pull this up. Let me pop to the screen. So a lot of times, anytime somebody requests a haircut, obviously I'm going to go to Google and I'm just going to put in the haircut and take a look around. Now these look pretty dated. I'd love to know somebody that's wearing like a modern flip haircut. What I do love, and that you guys have been kind of half and half with lately, is the flip bang that kind of flips just a little bit. You know, I've seen a couple people wearing it. I think it's super cool, but as soon as I put it out on the internet, people kind of go all over the place with it. So why don't you guys let me know what you think about it. I also want to give a shout out to Minerva Beauty because we're live on their Facebook today. So if you guys are looking for salon furniture, anything to upgrade your salon, go check them out. They're our good friends. You can see this is their website. Our entire salon is decorated with this color equipment. So it's just, they've got the best salon equipment, most fashionable looking, most modern looking, also classic styles as well. They're located right here in the United States, near Atlanta, Georgia. So if you guys get a chance, go check out their website, minervabeauty.com. And if you're just looking for ideas to upgrade your salon, all you have to do is go to their Facebook page and you'll see all the different salon designs that they're posting nonstop from some of their customers that have bought the equipment and then shared their photos. So let's see this thing going. So I got another pixie cut request. And those of you guys that are just tuning in, I'm taking requests today. I got a few different types of mannequins, so that way hopefully I can share with you guys what you're looking to learn. Round layers, that's a good request. Shag, a lot of requests for shags. Now here's the deal, I've done a lot of shag cuts lately, so if you guys haven't seen them yet, just make sure you're subscribed to my Facebook channel or our YouTube channel. And you will see them pop up, but I do them quite often. Let's see, modern mullet. That's a good one too. Meredith, if you're looking for those things, then go to minervabeauty.com because they definitely have that stuff. Modern mullet again. Is this really what we want to see today? Modern mullet again. Okay, let me look up modern mullet. So here's the other deal, guys. If you are tuning in, hopefully you're having a good time, but this is more of an interactive show. So if you guys like the shorter videos that I make, I will be cutting this up into a shorter video. We're recording it live today so that I can chop it up later and make it nice and short. But for today, we're just gonna have some fun talking it up, seeing what you guys wanna learn, going over things. It's gonna be a longer class. So sit tight, enjoy, and get to know each other, have some fun. Let me see, wrong keyboard. Modern mullet. Let's see what we got. All right. Now, do we want to see this modern mullet on male or female style? Because this is the thing, I've actually been seeing this, a lot of kids running around wearing this haircut right here. What do you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments what you think, but it's really kind of a disconnected, weird flow to it. We could totally cut something like this today, and it wouldn't take that long to cut it either. So let me know if this is sort of the look that you guys are thinking. Do you have a video? Male, hate it. All right, honesty's good. Yuck. All right, that does not look good at all. This is the thing though, style is subjective, guys, and to be honest, if it's on the right person, it could look pretty cool, but do I think the majority of our clients are asking for it? Probably not, but I don't personally like to quickly look at something and just go and judge it, because it could look cool on certain people. No, I don't like it. I'm guessing Peggy's saying hate it, but they want it. And it's so true. Like, there's definitely a lot of kids wearing that haircut. All right, another modern shag. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. If you do the mullet, then with the shaved sides spiky. Okay. I guess I did so many in the 80s, it's hard to look at it. That's so true. I mean, I didn't do them in the 80s. I'm not, haven't been doing hair that long, but I was alive and they definitely were there. Kathleen says yuck. Okay, mod cut with a twist. All right, stacked bob for thin hair. That's the second request I've seen for that. Kayla also wants to see a stacked bob. Okay. All right, so I feel like we are so here's where I think we're at in this. I think we're either gonna do a shag haircut, a modern mullet haircut, which is what I showed you guys, or a stacked bob. So why don't we just cut it down to those three for today? Let me know which one of those three you wanna see. A shag, like a modern shag, a modern mullet, or a stacked bob. Let's see. What is the curly Rezzo cut? What is that? Let me look that up. Curly. I think Rezzo is a person, right? I'm guessing. Oh, sweet. The only challenge with this cut, so let me show you guys. I'm guessing that this is kind of where we're at. The only problem with this cut, I love it. I don't have a mannequin with those girls that's that long. My mannequins are more like this length, so I'm not sure. I really love, okay, this before and after is cool. I would add a little more height to that, a little bit. Obviously it just flattened out a bit, and you can see how that height kind of, I like the kick over on that, even on the before, but the after, if it just had a little bit more build up. So I just do a little more layering in there. Around the round, but that is super cool. What else we got? Love this shape here. We could do a cut like that sometime. dolls that I have a little bit tighter curl than that. But that's a good one. I like this one. Check out that before and after. Who did this? I don't know who did these guys, but that's a sweet before and after. You could see how that just kind of, that little bit of volume, the roundness there just sits so nice on her face shape. It's nice. It's nice. All right. Where are we at here? It's hard for me to look at that and then watch you guys. Let me see. If I miss your comment, just post it again, and I will try to see everybody. Let's see. Stacked bob, long shag, long graduation, long shag, stacked bob, shag. See, we're torn here, guys. We're torn. I was in high school in the 80s and loved it. Everyone had a mullet. Yeah, for sure. Rizzo, all right. I'm going to do a little more research on this cut because I just want to make sure, like, I can jump into a lot of cuts and show you guys, but I just want to make sure, I really want to come up with a structured technique for what I would do for that. So let's make sure we do that next Tuesday, for sure. Or I'll do it later this week. I might do it, even Thursday or Friday. Mullet, shag, too hard to choose. I totally agree. I 100% agree with that. Stacked, modern shag, stacked, modern mullet, shag. Okay, all right. I just gotta choose. Let's see what the last comment says. What is a shag? What is a shag haircut? Let me show you guys. I'll pull up a shag. No, wrong keyboard again. Shag haircut. Let's go modern shag because those are not good. All right, let me show you. There you go. So some of these, like a shag is a very loose word, I guess you could say. Like this to me is not really a shag. This is more of a layered haircut. But let me see. Where's a good shag haircut in here? Oh, look, that's our video. I like this one right here. It's nice. I feel like this gets into kind of shag territory. Let me know if you guys agree, but that kind of like real short layers in there. This one's cool. I like that one. This one's good. Now we're getting there. Let's see. Cool. I think those are good examples. So that would be kind of the cut that we would do. Stacked bob. So for the sake of not fully chopping off the mannequin head that I have, which is brand new and long, I'm going to do this kind of modern mullet or shag today. So we'll get started with that with you guys. I'm going to start sectioning off the mannequin and then we'll go into haircuts. Let me pop over. Here. So we'll go through the sectioning first, and then, like I said, after that, then I'll start getting into the cut. Sectioning for this is going to be pretty simple. So I'm going to work through with a wide tooth comb. Also, guys, just know that everything that I'm using today, I put the link in the description on Facebook, but everything that I'm using in the videos today is available on our online store. Let me see where I can. Just with Maine. There it is. So it's available on our online store, Shop FSE. So the combs that I'm using, the clips that I'm using, these YS Part clips, super good. The Velcro clip that I'm using, I'll use on dry hair. And then obviously the star of the show, the TriRazor, which has 3 different cutting sides as well. he's joining the show. All right, so I'll just comb this hair back. A couple things that I want to focus on. I want to work across the parietal ridge. So I'll spin the head. And I'll work around. And then we'll go back through the crown area here. Like that. And then back across that parietal ridge area. And honestly, guys, this is going to be one of the easiest techniques. I like working with speed, saving time in the salon, so being the most effective that I can with how we do this cut. So I'm going to comb all this hair from this top section forward. Let me show you guys from the overhead angle. It's like this. So I've got that round shape around. This is the front of the face up here. So I comb that hair forward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to braid it in the front. So I see that this side drops just a little bit. So I'm just going to grab a little extra on this side. Most of the tools I'm using today are out of stock. We did order some more, guys, but the store sells out quickly. It sells out kind of as soon as we get stuff in. The TriRazor, though, is not out of stock because we make that. That is our tool, and we have lots in stock. But the other stuff, we're in the mercy of reordering, so sometimes it takes a while. All right, so now I've got this forward. I'm just going to braid in the front. What the braid does is it just kind of holds things tight, and it keeps the section forward, which is what I want. And then also I can then flip this braid, even it keeps it nice and tight, but I can flip the braid up and just clip it down. So just like that, clip it, then it keeps it out of my client's face. So now we've got this nice round section. So Deborah's saying, need ideas for older ladies. Well, just so you know, Deborah, my thought is always that older ladies can wear any cut that younger people wear. I don't think hairstyles have an age, but what I do think is that hairstyles do cater to different face shapes and styles. So anytime I have a client in the chair, I'm always looking at their style first, and also their face shape to make sure that the cut that I'm putting on them matches kind of their day-to-day. And then also, another key thing is to make sure that the maintenance of that haircut fits the client's lifestyle as well. All right, let me see here. So now what we're gonna do is I'm literally going to pivot around this head shape, and I'm going to start cutting my layers in. I want to cut a round shape on the mannequin. When I get towards the back, then I'm going to start to over direct it forward. So once I get to behind this ear, kind of where the hairline is back here, that's when I'm going to start to over direct it slightly. But at the beginning, I'm going to travel. The reason I'm going to travel is because I really want to create those layers around the face, but then I want to provide a little extra length in the back of this haircut, just so that I don't have super short layers all the way around. I think that, to me, is kind of what modernizes this cut. What do you suggest for an older person with a round face? That's a great question. So one of the things that I mean, what you have to look at all the time when you look at a face shape, so let's go right here. This mannequin obviously has kind of an oval face, which is the ideal face shape, going to because they manufacture it that way. But if you have a round face, a couple key things, I've talked about this in the past. The first thing is adding layering around the face and squaring off any of your shape. So instead of going really round with the haircut, maybe open up the face, but add some pieces and layers in there. And what that does is it doesn't it takes the gap between the length of the hair. So if you have longer hair, it takes that gap away, because the more gap you have, the more round it makes the face look. So if the face is round here and you don't have any layers and you just have long hair, it starts to shrink your face, makes it look more round and short. So to elongate that, you can open up the face with layering, add some layers in there, and then that starts to connect the haircut to the face, which will make it not appear to be shorter than it is, right? Also adding a little bit of height to a haircut can help as well, so a little bit of volume, which would be kind of what we're doing in this haircut today, adding a ton of volume, texture, layers throughout it. Okay. And the opposite would be if you have long hair, or a long face, obviously. So if you have a longer face, then you're going to want to kind of extend those layers out. You don't need to cut the layers in to help accentuate that. Okay. So like I said, we're going to start right here on the right side and we're going to work around. Very, very simple, guys. So what I'm going to do is a vertical section right here. This can be a little bit thicker because we're going to be working with the TriRazor. We can cut a little more hair at a time. So I've got this section here. I'm going to comb it. So underneath the section here, bring it out from the head. Now, the TriRazor has 3 different sides. So we have a 100% cutting side, which is like a traditional razor. So if I slide this in the hair, it's going to cut 100% of it. If I took this 25% side and slid it in the hair, it would cut 25% of this section. If I go 50% right here and slide that in the hair, it's going to cut 50% of this section. And I'll show you guys the differences and why you would use it in different circumstances as we work through the head. Right now, we're in the weakest part of the haircut, which is because this hairline is small. When you start to work towards the back, it gets wider and thicker because you have more hair to work with. So then we can kind of play around with those texturizing sides. So for now, I've got this haircut here, this section, not this haircut. Got this section here, comb it out, directly out from the head shape, and then I'm just going to determine where I want that initial layering to start. Maybe it is right around the cheekbone, which is where I'm going for. So I comb, I look at where that's gonna drop, and then I take my TriRazor and I just slide through. It just glides through the hair, and I kind of pull as I come out. And you'll see that texture start to pop through and the layering already happening. Okay? Again, this is available on our online store, Shop FSE. So if you're looking for a new tool, something fun and creative to work with, it's $44. You can get it worldwide shipping, and they're available on our online store, and they are in stock. So now I take another vertical section. So let me show you. Vertical section through, and look how far we already are on the head. So like I said, you can take a little bit wider sections because you're using a razor cutting a little bit softer. There we go. Turn this. Now I'm going to scoop and bring that old section to the new. So just grabbing that new or that old section, bringing it over to my new section. So right there. Elevation is the same. I can see my guide as it falls out, and then I just take my 100% cutting side and I glide through the hair nice and soft, work through it. Again, popping those layers and texture into the haircut. That's great, I need volume. That's right. And this will create tons of it. So here, you can see how those layers are starting to work across. Now, I want to pull a little extra length. Now we're getting into this hairline area. So take a look here. You can see we've cut that hair. Now we're into the hairline. So when I take this section through vertical, I'm just going to bring it right over. I'll clip this side away, just like that. And I'm going to bring it straight out to the ear. So bringing this section straight out to here. So I'll grab a little bit of my old for a guide. And I'm going to bring all this hair up to me. Now I'm going to cut it all at once. What that's going to do is give me extra length, because you can see how far I'm stretching from the hairline down here, or the nape of the neck, and it's coming up into my finger. That's going to provide quite a bit of extra length, but I'll show you guys how easy it is to remove it. What the cool thing about this is that because I'm over directing it so much, it's going to push a ton of length down, but also a little bit of weight, so it keeps that hairline or that outer perimeter nice and strong. So here we go. We're over top of, or right behind the ear. Now I'm going to slide all the way through. Now, it's going to give me a lot of extra length, but what I'll do is once I have that extra length, I'll comb the hair down and I'll take my 100% cutting side and I'll just work through it and cut it off. So that gives me, so I can determine the length that way. See how these layers get a little bit longer because of the over direction. It's all within the plan. So now, last section on the right side is going to come straight down, center back, just like this. And this is going to go to that same stationary guide that we just cut. So I'll clip the left side away. And this is a great haircut for curly hair too, guys. So wavy hair, if somebody has wavy hair, perfect for that. Even though I'm doing it on straight hair, that doesn't mean you can't do it on wavy. All right, so right over here, combing that hair around the head, and I'm just gonna work short to long, and then I'm gonna recomb and I'm gonna bring some more up here as well. So the rest of that nape section. So bringing it up and over, slide through and cut. So now spin it around, see all those layers popping. Now we've got our length, it's a little longer than I want it to be, and I can determine using the TriRazor what I want that length to be. So I just go through and cut. So there's that. That's the right-hand side. Now we're gonna move into the left-hand side, but check that out. See how cool that is? You got tons of short layers popping through. It starts to expand this shape out. This is why this is such a great haircut for a round face. It's really almost all face shapes. That's why I like the shag haircut. But you can see how that kind of pops out and you get that volume. We'll blow it dry in a minute and you'll see it. Megan, thanks so much. Let me see if you guys have any questions. Make sure you post them in the chat. Just type Q and put in your question. That way I can see. Why not cut the perimeter first? That's a great question, Julia. So let me go here. So why not cut the perimeter first? Well, the thing is for me is that I'm much more into the length of these layers and where they're hitting and then the perimeter. And the other thing is when cutting the perimeter, if I cut this last, so let's say I cut perimeter first, I'm bringing all that hair down to cut it, that I'm not gonna cut anyways. I'm gonna cut it again in the haircut. So think about that way. Think about the fact that if I remove all of this length or all of this weight from the haircut, And then all I have to do is just kind of dust the ends of a lightweight section because I've already layered the hair. Then I think it's a win-win. So I'm focused on the length of the layers first, then the length of the haircut on the perimeter. And that's kind of how I work that. All right, so let's get back to the left side. What is a good haircut for fine hair? This one. Please. I don't understand. I want this haircut so bad. Then get it. Best way to get it is to get a TriRazor. Check out that packaging. We spent a lot of time making a sweet looking package for this product. So what you get in the kit is you get a TriRazor. You can also get replacement blades. So it opens up like this and you can change the blades out, which is super cool. Snap it right back in, put the top on, and then it comes with 3 blades in it already and then a pack of 5 blades as well. So let me see, I do have a pack. So you get a pack of blades. See if you guys can see that. Pack of blades and in this nice little box. So let's go over here. Also, I get alerts when you guys buy stuff, so at the end of the show, I'll be giving shout outs to anybody that purchases a TriRazor on the show. And if you share this class right now, maybe we can do something special at the end. We'll see. All right. So now, how do we match up the left side and the right side? How do we match lengths? So this is a common question in haircutting is how do I make sure that this side and this side are this exact same? Some people pull it across and cut a piece. For me, I don't like to do that because I like to balance it on the way that their face shape kind of plays out. So what I did on this cut was I balanced it with her cheekbone. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Some people's cheekbones or bone structure in their face doesn't match on both sides. So I'm more about balancing it on her face to make sure that that works out and that looks good than I am actually making these both exact on the same side. Think about it like if you're going to build something, construct something on the ground, and the ground isn't level, but you measure it and you do everything the exact same, when it sits on it, it's going to be lopsided. So you got to build up, you got to build everything on a flat surface. So what I'm doing is I'm matching up her structure. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if it really does, but we'll go with it. Is the TriRazor available in South Africa? For sure. So the only place it's not available right now is Australia because they have restrictions on us shipping things there currently. So other than that, you can purchase it and it will be packaged and shipped by my lovely fiance, Christina. Because me and her do this together, we're a team. So I'm in here showing you guys cool stuff and she's helping all of you guys out. So here we go. Vertical section. Look at the bone structure. I pull this hair out just like this. I look at where do I want this piece to hit. I want it to hit right around there. So I bring that hair over and I take my 100% cutting side. There you go. Here, comb it out. 100% cutting side, and I slide through. It glides right through it. Cool. Yes, it makes sense to go with the face shape. Sweet. Thank you. Any details where I can purchase it? Yes. So those of you guys that are asking, and I would love it if you do purchase one, go to shopfse.com. And you can purchase all kinds of awesome pro tools. Can you show us with a scissor? Scissor is pretty similar, but here's why I like using a razor as much as possible, is because if I go and take this section and I draw my line with the razor, I get a glide through it. So to get that with a scissor, I would kind of cut and chop through, which is totally fine, but it's just easier. So what I like to show you guys is how I would do it, not how I think I would alter it. So I just comb the hair back. You could do this with another type of razor if you guys wanted to. So I don't want to say that, but just that glide motion is really what kind of makes this cut work. So that glide through, you get a pretty sweet line. All right. Thanks, Megan. Thanks for sharing the link. Appreciate that. What's up, Patty? So Patty, if you're just tuning in, we are cutting a modern shag haircut. Let me show you guys from the top. So again, give you guys a view of what the razor looks like. Fits really good in the hand. You got your 3 different cutting sides. I'll show you guys a little trick with the other 2 sides in a minute. So what I'm doing as of right now is combing this hair to directly behind the ear. So just like this, combing it there, and then I take my 100% cutting and I slide through the section. Sorry, I'm reading your comments. All right, so here, now I don't need to take everything, so I just take a little bit for a guideline. You can see it there. And then I take another vertical section, just like that. And I comb this hair over to me, and I'm going now forward to get behind that ear. So just a slight bit of over direction. That starts to build weight into the back of the haircut. I'm going to show you guys once over here. And remember, we scoop this bottom section up and over direct it up. There we go. Slide through it. Pop back to the top view. The reason I like this view is because I want you guys to see how I'm combing the hair over. But I'll tilt her head a little bit so you can see a little bit better. So I grab a little bit of the old, again, just from behind the ear. So the ear is right here. Grab that new section, and then everything is coming up, over. Oh, jeez. All right, I'm tilting the head back. Sorry, guys. Tried to do it for you, but I just couldn't. Right there, slide through. And then again, just taking a little bit more and bringing it up around. So what happens with all this over direction, cutting in these short layers, and then when I comb it out, so all this hair from the back here, when you look at this, these pieces went all the way around and got cut here. So instead of cutting it right where it lives, which makes hair nice and short, you get extra over direction, which gives you extra length in the back. So it just gives you a little extra pop of length through. And then remember, we got to cut that perimeter line. So I will show you guys that now as well. What's up, Megan? Good to see you. Sunshine. Dana, it's all about the cut. It's very true, Carmen. Oh, by the way, I'm from Kentucky, Louisville area. I want to purchase a TriRazor. Lisa, you should, and I'll give you a shout out at the end. Again, anybody that purchases a TriRazor, I will know. I will be notified. And I get notified anytime you guys buy one. And in my mind, I say thank you. But today, I will give you a verbal thank you at the end of the show. So right here, cut that length. Again, pivot a little bit to the side, through, cut that length. Now, I've got kind of quite a bit of bulk through here. I don't want to totally take this out, and I don't want to fully layer this up, especially with fine hair. So this works with fine hair and thick hair, because with thick hair, I can go a little extra with what I'm about to do. With fine hair, I can go light, but it also helps keep some density. So like I said, this TriRazor has two other cutting sides, 25 texture side and a 50 texture side. This one takes 50% out, this one takes 25. So if I had thick hair, I could go ahead and take out the 50%. With thin hair, I'm gonna go in with 25. So right here, I hold the hair in, I can see where the head starts to bevel in. That's where I'm going to add a little extra layering. I take in my 25 texture, and I'm gonna go a pop once. You could do this with any length hair. You just wanna take out a little bit of weight. Also, just section off that crown area and go underneath the haircut and take out some weight, and then let that drop over. You get extra length in your layers, but you also get to remove some weight from the inside. So that's a little tip as well. So right here, I go just once, pop at the bottom. So you can see 25% comes out. I recomb, and then I'm gonna go right at the base where that hair is, and I'm gonna go one more time, 25% out. So now I get a little extra pop of layers. Looks like I cut some short layers in there just like I did on the front, but it keeps density in the back. So now I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. Spin it. Debbie, I appreciate that. All right. Shaggy lob with side part and flick bangs. Is that what they're called? Flick bangs? Let me see. All right, so again, 25 texture. I think we're gonna do some flick bangs today. 25 texture out, recomb, 25 texture again, right there. Pop it. Now you got a little extra layering, nice little shag effect. How are we feeling? Let's see some positive emojis in the chat. If you're feeling good, let me know. All right, so there we go. Start to the shag. Obviously now we've got to cut the top of this haircut. So again, at the very beginning, I braided this top away just to keep it out of the client's face. Rainia, I want to actually address your comment. So let me pull it up on the screen. Let me go here. Where is my mouse? I don't know where it is. It's a bunch of hair on it. So weird. Maybe it died. It may have died. All right, well, I'm gonna keep going live, but I will talk about Rainia's comment, and I will charge my mouse until the show's over, and then I'll be able to pull things up. So let me go here, plug in the mouse. It's always good. All right, I'm back. So Rainia was saying that that razors destroy hair. It's not recommended by anyone. I do want to address that because razors get a bad rep, and I've talked about this in past classes, because people don't use fresh blades within the razor. So my recommendation, this is fresh blades always. You can swap them out. So you go like this, and you can take out all three blades, replace them. You could replace the blade that you use the most, and make sure that obviously this 100% side is most of the time getting changed before a haircut. If you cut with a dull blade, it obviously will hurt hair. But we do a lot of techniques with texturizing scissors and regular scissors where we cut on dry hair and we drag the scissors across. This is sharper than a scissor blade. So the fact that this is sharper means that it will cut hair better. Now, the other thing is there are different types of blades for razors. So I want to talk about that too, because this razor by Paul Mitchell is, you know, it's cool. It's a cool tool. Not comparing the tools, but I do want to compare the type of razor blade. This is for shaving hair. I don't know why I just did that, but shaving hair, faces, things like that. Usually gets put into a tight case. It's very, very flimsy. So you can see how flimsy that blade is, right? Now, I want you to see, this is TriRazor blades here. So I want to show you guys. So this comes like this, right? So here is one of the biggest differences here. So you can see, without me cutting myself, that this blade, it does not bend at all. It's got a nice structure back to it. This, flimsy, right? When you put it into a casing, it becomes more firm, but they're meant to only expose the very tip and then have a really strong casing on them. So that's not meant to cut thick, coarse hair. And some people do it and they're dragging kind of the wrong purpose blade for it. This has kind of a serrated edge to it. It's got a little extra buildup to it. And then also this built up back. And then it goes into a casing so it's nice and firm, held into the casing that way. Somebody's saying, how does this compare to the carving comb? That's a great question, guys. You guys know, you've watched my videos for years and years. I love the carving comb. I love all those tools. My goal was to create something that kind of had the best of everything in it and was nice and compact and handheld. So when we came out with this, it's a triangle like our logo. So I don't know if you guys have seen our logo, but if you're new to the show, I can't really show you right now because I can't use my mouse, but this is our logo right here. It's a triangle, right? It's a triangle play button. So I wanted to create kind of a play button looking tool that had 3 different sides and 3 different ways of cutting. So that's kind of where it all came from. All razor tools are pretty cool. Me personally, this is my favorite because, well, we came out with it. We came out with it using, like, it costs a lot of money to create a mold and go through the process and do everything to have everything that I like within a tool. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. Let's see. All right. So now, what are we going to do with this top section? So I want to create kind of that flip out bang. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this hair to the front. I'm going to level it right at the cheekbone. I'm not cutting a fringe yet. I want to cut some more layers throughout it. So let's see. Comb this hair forward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this right around her nose, and I'm going to use the 50 texture side of this tool here, of the TriRazor, and I'm going to work through it. The reason I like using the 50 texture side is because of the fact that it's opening up a lot of the blade at once. And it gives me different lengths and textures throughout the cut. So right there, cut it, take out all that hair. You can see all the different lengths. And then as I kind of shake it out, you'll start to see things, the haircut kind of coming to life in there, all the different layers throughout it. And then I'm going to even cut that fringe a little bit shorter, but you'll start to see it unfolding there. And what's cool, when you pull all that hair forward and cut it, you can see that it actually, some of this hair that goes back into the back creates the layering into the back of the haircut as well. So check that out. Literally one section, just pulling everything forward, cutting into it, and now you've got this really, really fun textured shag haircut. All right, so now I'm going to go in and blow dry. I'm gonna cut this shorter, so don't go crazy yet. I'm gonna cut it shorter, but I wanna get it dry first, and then we're going to work on the fringe. What's up, Adele? Good to see you. How often do you change the blade? So, Felicia, I change the blade most of the time. So it depends on the texture of the hair that I'm doing. So I like to change it every time, but in some cases, if I'm cutting fine hair, I may be able to do a couple haircuts. It'll still be sharp. I just prefer to change the blade as often as possible. So I see that you guys are purchasing them. Thank you so much. I will give you a shout out at the end of the show. I'll pull up the list of names, people that bought them. So thank you guys, appreciate the support. All right, so let me blow this haircut dry. Just about fell down, that would have been embarrassing. So right here, Paul Mitchell Sculpting Foam is going to be my first product of choice. I'm gonna put that throughout the hair. It's a lightweight foam. I could run into big bucks. Well, here's the thing, guys. You don't use it. If I use it for a full haircut, then obviously, depending on the texture of the hair, I would change it out. A lot of times, I use the TriRazor with scissors also. So you could do some layering and then just use your 25 texture, 50 texture, just to remove a little bit of weight. On men's cuts, I like to use it to create some texture in the top, but I'm not using it for a full haircut. So, you know, you don't have to always buy blades or change out the blade, but I just recommend that you don't go too long. You'll feel when the blade is not quite sharp enough, just like your scissors, like you'll know. All right, so once I get the product applied in the hair, I like to brush it through, and then we will start our blow dry. Check out that shape, super cool. Carla, thank you so much, appreciate it. What do you do with fine hair to give it body and bounce? I'll give you guys a little tip. All right, so we're gonna start our blow dry. A couple things that I like to do with the blow dry. I like to flat wrap, work it around the head shape. So we'll go up and over the head just like this. And around the face. Try to keep it out of their eyes as much as possible. And then we do the same thing in the back. So I'm working the back of the head all the way kind of up and around. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Thanks, Patty. Why is shipping so much? So shipping's pretty cheap if you're in the US and Canada, but it's 15 bucks everywhere else worldwide. That's just, it costs quite a bit of money to ship outside the US. Yes, this is a Dyson blow dryer. Felicia, it's $5 for shipping in the US, like $4.95 I think. So shouldn't be, I mean, that's not crazy. Shouldn't be 12 bucks. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look into that, but I think it's a flat rate of $4.95. And I think anything over 100 bucks in the US is free shipping. So all right, we're getting there. All right, Lisa, that's a good question. So Lisa is saying she's 62, hair is thinner on top and getting worse. What can I do? So I'm not here to give tips about like how to get more hair, because if I knew that, I would do it myself. But what I would say is for tips on making your hair appear thicker, first off, it's going to be a little bit based on the cut, but a lot based on product choice. So what I like to do with thinner hair is make sure that I don't use any wet type of products or oils. I use texture sprays, matte type products, so things that will make your hair appear a little thicker, and I make sure that I blow dry fully the person's hair, not leaving it damp whatsoever, because then hair clumps together. So if you can get the hair fully dry, use maybe a spray wax or a texture spray, or like a matte hold kind of pomade. You can pull some, or like a powder. They have also some powders that help thicken hair, make it appear a little thicker. That's kind of the tips I have for that. All right, we're getting there. Getting there, getting there. Oh. What's up, Lynn? Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Patty. I am live, yes. All right. How much did I miss? Pretty much. Actually, we're just getting to the good stuff. We cut a shag. X-Fusion powder is what I use, and I can't live without it. There you go. So you guys can see what happens as I'm wrapping the hair around the head. See that little curve that it puts in the hair? That's just using the head as a big roller set. So allowing that hair to kind of form with the head shape helps keep it nice and smooth. Lynn's always in between clients. It's a good thing. I can never get a haircut I want in my small town. Well, Wendy, I think the key to finding the right hairdresser is just looking online and making sure, like trying to find somebody that fits your style. And there's always somebody. It doesn't matter like small town, big town, there's always somebody creative. Sometimes you gotta search. I know, Lynn, I missed the classes too, but are you using heat on the blow dryer? Yes, it just wasn't blow drying very fast. I missed the classes too. I've been working on a project that some of you guys kind of know about, but only because I've talked about it a little bit. But it's an 8 haircut cutting system with a PDF book or a digital book to show you guys head sheets and terminology that I talk about in the videos. And I'm going to be making that a digital product for you guys to purchase, hopefully within the next month. So I've been working really hard to get it done. I wanted to make sure the videos were very good. And all of these haircuts, they go together in a system. It starts with a long haircut, goes all the way down to a short haircut, and combines all the different shapes that we talk about. So very excited. It's not going to be expensive. That's the goal too, to make sure it's affordable, but it's a system that I can reference back to for everyone that follows me, so that they, if you get that system, then anytime I'm cutting hair, you should understand everything I'm talking about. So that's the goal. And then once I launch that, then I will start doing club things with probably people special for people that purchase the cutting system, if that makes sense. So it's kind of how it's going to roll. So if you purchase the cutting system, then there will also be additional kind of Zoom get-togethers every once in a while. It won't be all the time. I'm not going to commit to like every week or anything, but I'll send out invites to Zooms special for those people. All right, cool. So I got it dry. So now let's smooth it. Thank you, Tara. So I'm gonna use the Paul Mitchell Neuro smoothing iron. It's about, this thing's gotta be like a ½ inch, maybe it's an inch. I like it. I like it. I don't even know why I said that. All right. Patty, I'll see you later. I think you said you have to go. So I'm just gonna take some slight diagonal forward partings. I wanna smooth this out just so I can see kind of how each little bit is falling. See if anything looks heavy or not. See how fast this thing heats up? Sweet. So look at that. Look at that. See how soft that is? That's the best part about cutting with a razor. Price point of the razor. So the razor is $44.95. So $44.95, you get the razor, you get 3 blades inside of it, and then you get 5 additional blades with it. And it comes in this box here. So $44.95 plus shipping, depending on where you're at in the world. And be patient with shipping if you're somewhere in the world, but it will get to you. But I just appreciate the support. It's a super fun tool, very creative, and it's just something fun to add into your already like scissor work, things like that. Just being able to kind of customize things, work through it. Like, look how nice that is and how quick we did it. That's the goal. What's the name of the smoothing iron? So this is the Paul Mitchell Neuro Smooth, believe. I'm all about a razor and texture. That's right, Amy. You're my new best friend. It's also good, so people freak out about a razor, but they don't freak out about the irons they use or the products that they don't use. So you gotta you gotta take care of your hair. So this iron, it reheats itself so it doesn't overheat. So a lot of smoothing irons, blow dryers, cheap ones, they heat up and they don't ever reset. So what happens is they just get hotter and hotter. Even though you set it at, let's say, 370 degrees, it just keeps getting hotter and hotter. That will fry your ends and make them look terrible. So, so somebody will own that iron and then be like, oh, I hate razors, they screw up my hair. But they'll put that heat on their hair. So you just gotta be really careful and try to if you get the right haircut, hopefully you don't have to spend a ton of time with hot tools, and make sure that you put thermal protectants on your hair, hot off the press. Anything that says thermal protectant is good, but I do like hot off the press. I like Protect from Neuro, Paul Mitchell as well. So what I'm doing is, as I smooth, I just do a slight little bevel, but I'm not bending the hair. I want it to have kind of a natural fall with the head shape, because then that will tell me how my haircut looks. You can always curl it later or do different things, but I like to finish it out for the cut, specifically to see how that shape is looking. Wendy says she freaks out over heat being used. I get it. I do want to give a shout out to anybody that did do like a super chat today. I just learned what that stuff is. I really appreciate them. They're not necessary, but I do appreciate it. So there's some longer pieces, what you'll see from a disconnect, which was because of the overdirection in the front. I'm going to cut into that stuff a little bit as well. Anybody else have any questions? This is so relaxing to watch. I know, I should really just shut up, huh? Not sure how to buy. So just check out the website that is down below, shopfse.com, and you can get the TriRazor and some of the other tools that I'm using. Some of it's out of stock. Apologize. You can always set to get a reminder if it is in stock. The TriRazor is in stock though. You can get your hands on one of those. Thank you. Appreciate it, Lynn. Keep talking. All right. You don't have to tell me twice. All right, we're getting there, guys. I've said that 1,000 times, but just got to do the fringe. And let me know in the comments, should I leave it this long in front? Totally kidding. I know the answer to that. Well aware. Oh, that's awesome, Lynn. I'm glad you like it. Your voice is so gentle. All right, sweet. I get annoyed by my voice, my own voice. Shorten it, yeah. I will. Danielle, I will, I promise. It's not staying like that. Look at this shape though, guys. Like literally we did this so fast. Half of you guys missed it because you weren't even on here. It was that fast. We learn when you talk. That's good. That is good, Wendy. So you see, just a little bevel. And I hold the hair tight. So this is another little tip. I hold the hair tight when I iron it, almost like I'm cutting it. So I hold it with that kind of tension because that helps me just smooth it out. But then once I get through here and pass once, then I put the brush under it because it's hot. It's very hot. You'll burn yourself. And I just run a couple passes over it. And because of the blow dry and doing the flat wrapping, I really only have to do mid shaft to ends, which is nice as well. Do you ever surprise yourself with a cut or style? 100%. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. But in my opinion, what makes somebody professional is how they react to situations. Not necessarily what they can do, but how they react. Because I could get really good at cutting one thing on one type of hair, and then you do it on another type of hair and it freaks out, reacts differently. And when that happens, how you handle it, what you've learned along the way, can help change all that. I think only a pretty face could wear that style. I don't think so, Heather. I think pretty face is subjective, right? And I think this haircut can make a lot of people look pretty cool. And shag haircut is very versatile. So everyone has a pretty face in some way or another. It's our job to accent those features. All right, almost. I know, I said this 100 times. Almost there. This is the ASMR. Is that what it is? Moment. Hey, Lawrence. Had long layers and it was a disaster. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. For me, it just fascinates me when you can take something that, with scissors, I probably would have had to take 20 more sections to get where I wanted it to look. And with a razor, you can take thicker sections and cut because your lines are so soft. And when your lines are soft, the hair lays better, and it lays better when you take a thicker section. So it's the speed at which you can work. And honestly, get people on with their lives and get, on to your next client, things like that. So, all right. I want to look up Flick Bang. See if that is actually a thing, if that pulls up. Let's take a look. Flick. Yeah, I don't see any of these as being too, they're not what I was thinking anyways. I'm telling you, this type of bang, this like flick, I actually really kind of like this. I know that style's a little dated for me, but the bangs, I kind of like how they crisscross. It's almost kind of what I was talking about. All right. Another thing I like to hear in the chat from you guys is if you like this kind of pace of the class. So, I'll just go to here. Do you like this pace of the class, this kind of slower pace, working through things? Let me know. Time is money, that is true. So, a couple things. We brought everything to the front, cut it, which in turn gives us a little extra weight right here. So what I like to do with the TriRazor is, and this could be after a scissor cut, whatever, is come through here, section away some of this. Here's where a little bit of my heaviness is. So I can just come in, 25 texture, and just kind of work through on the surface and just remove a little bit of that weight and just soften it a little bit. Here, 100% cutting, and just soften it. So as I comb it, I can see if it's gonna fall soft or not. That's a key thing to having a good haircut that works for your client. So then I'll take a little bit more section down, comb it, and see how it lays. Now that's already laying better because we cut into it a little bit. So you can cut into it, slide through, just cut right along the surface. This is where you would want a nice sharp blade for your TriRazor. Don't try to get away with using a dull one because you'll definitely notice it on dry hair. Dry hair, always a brand new blade. Wet hair, not always brand new. Just make sure it's new enough to where it still glides through. So I'll take a little bit section, comb it over, and work this underneath. Come in here, 25, remove just a little bit, and I'm just lightly grazing the surface of this haircut. Comb it down, just take a little bit more. I do like the bevel of this. I think it makes the shape stand out. So I don't want to fully take it away, but just like seeing it be a little bit lighter. Okay, so now I'm going to take little piece by piece. So I may just take some of this, kind of clip this away, and I just want to start shortening some of these pieces around the face. Hey Matt, have you ever cut layers and the hair frizzed right after doing it? So yes, but this is the thing too, and I'm not talking razor, I'm just talking hair cutting in general. I've cut hair and it frizzed, it got a little bit out of control. So what that tells me is that hair is damaged, but it's not damaged from the haircut, it's damaged from, probably the way that they dry the hair, different things that they do at home with the maintenance. So, or we can blame ourselves a little bit, maybe over lightened or whatever. But for me, it's trying to figure out how I can coach them on styling. We talk about different lengths. Maybe we need to take it a little bit shorter. If they just have frizzy hair in general, it's definitely a product thing. So then I'll go more like oil bases and things like that. So it just really depends on what suits the client. All right, so I'm taking out little bits of the fringe and I'm just gonna softly start cutting into it and working through it, okay? So let me grab, I'm gonna sit on a cutting stool for this portion here. Oh, just dropped my mic, not in the good way. Let's see, can you still hear me? Can you hear me? I think so. All right, so right here, I'm just gonna go in 100% and just start just softly taking away. Now, why does this work so well on a fringe? Because when you cut something with a scissor, it becomes more blunt and it stacks the hair up. When you cut with a razor, it softens the section and doesn't remove all the hair at the same length. So you get a little bit more of a shattered effect, which is really nice for a fringe. So I'm going through, I'm deciding I want a little shorter in the center, a little less towards the side, or a little longer towards the side, I mean. Do the same thing over here. So right here, take it and just work, sliding the TriRazor through. Just keep the TriRazor at a 45-degree angle and you'll get the best glide to the hair. If it feels like it's pulling a little bit, maybe they have a little bit of a texture thing, you can do a couple different things. You could either spray something like a conditioning spray. So for me, I've got this detangling spray, restyler. So I can spray this on my section, just a couple little sprays, not even to necessarily wet the section, but to just soften the cuticle. So now when I go in, I get a really it glides literally right through it. So you can do that if you're having any issues with how it feels. Now I'll drop a little bit more hair down, comb it over. This is another reason, so if you look at what the hair looks like over here, look at right there. See that crease in the hair? That's because of the clip. which is super frustrating. So I have to order more of these. I know they're out of stock, but we sold tons of them. But I can take this, comb the hair over, and then slide the Velcro clip in, and it holds the hair back without creasing it, which is really nice. So stuff smells good too. So right here, work through it. It's nice and soft. I really don't want this fringe to be that short. I like how it is kind of flowing into the haircut. I know the internet will be a little frustrated about it, but if this keeps you up at night, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You kind of comb it in, and it stays. Here, softly remove just a little bit. Thank you, Sarah. Do you list all the products you use today? Teresa, that's a great question. I don't list all of them, but maybe I could. It's definitely a possibility in the future. Sure, Paul Mitchell would love that. I will recap them though for you. Here, just a little bit more. That's through. Just like a little bit on the surface through it. See where we're going? See where we're going with this? Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate it. Those of you guys that subscribe to my YouTube channel, or YouTube and Facebook, I just want to give a shout out to all of you guys because I appreciate it. Make sure if you don't already subscribe that you do, because I come out with new videos, new classes all the time. We're constantly doing new things, so make sure that you join me on those platforms. And I post videos all the time. Some are oldies and goodies, some are new. You can always learn something new. Look at that. Now, I want to do the flip out bang, which sometimes goes really well, sometimes it's a little rough, but we'll work through it together. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Tracy. All right, so a little bit of Paul Mitchell worked up. I'm gonna spray that throughout because this is a nice dry hairspray, texture spray. And then, where is mine? There it is. Try to set myself up for success because I'm still working through the thought process of this style of fringe, but I just really love the look of it. So coming through here, still trying to find my specific technique, but I don't know if this is a flick bang or not. It's not when you Google it, but to me it makes sense that it would be called that. And it just reminds me of like when I first started doing hair, of how like the layers used to be throughout hair, but I love that it's like just in the fringe. Yes. I think it's cool. And then I add a little bit of spray. And kind of like mold it together a little bit. And this I don't want to kick out too much. Yeah, super. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, this is spray wax. So like I said, for thinner hair, these waxier products and the dry hairsprays work really well because they make your hair feel thicker. I don't know, I kind of like it. I think it's sweet. You can see that shape throughout the cut. Just super fun. I mean, you could leave the bangs long. Obviously, you don't have to style them like that, but it's just pretty cool to go through it. Love this. Let's see if I can. Just want to open it up a little bit. It's pretty fun. Still a work in progress, but I'm digging the flick bangs, I'm telling you. What I like is you don't see them everywhere. Like I've only seen a couple celebrities wear it a couple times, not even like consistently. So for me, could be something fun for you guys to start doing. Be ahead of the curve if possible. All right, so the products I used, for those of you guys that want kind of a product list here, a few things. I like right here, the Worked Up, an invisible wear boomerang restyling mist. That was good for that little bit of detail work around the fringe using the TriRazor. I used Paul Mitchell sculpting foam right here, which is a really great product. That's what I used to pre-blow dry it. And then to finish it off, we used Paul Mitchell spray wax, which is right here. Nice flexible hold, pliable texture, matte. They call it satin finish. I like matte hold products because they make hair feel thicker. If you have thick hair, then you could really just play around with Worked Up. I don't think you need spray wax really, depending on how many layers you have. All right, like in the 70s for sure. I know, that's what I like about it. Let me see here. I think my camera where I talk to you guys is dead. Let me see if I can redo it. We can chat for a second. I can give my shout outs to anybody that purchased a TriRazor. Let me see. Just make sure I have it over here. Yep. All right. Let me see here. Okay. Wow. Looks like I worked hard. Okay. Yeah, you guys are the best. All right. So some of you guys purchased the TriRazor. Thank you so much. If you don't know what a TriRazor is, it's right here. This is the tool that we invented. It's patent pending, waiting for our first design patent, which is really exciting. Really fun tool to just have in your pocket and like enhance your haircuts, right? So use your scissors still, but use this to also enhance. We did the whole haircut today with it, but you don't have to. You can just add little details using all the different texturizing sides and all of that. Shout out to, let me see who we got. It's gonna be a good list here because you guys are the best. So Richard, thank you so much. Felicia, you did it. Thank you. Victoria, thank you. Monica, appreciate it. Teresa, Sharon, Pauline, Amanda, Amber, Carol, Pamela, Riley. And you know what's awesome is that Christina, my partner in crime in there, is they're already fulfilled. So Felicia's the only one I don't think is fulfilled yet, but it'll be fulfilled. She's fulfilling them as you're ordering them. So thank you guys. And Kylie, Morella, and I think that's it. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the support. I know you guys are gonna love the TriRazor for sure. If you guys didn't get a chance to purchase one today, you know, when you're looking for something new, something fun, just go to shopfse.com. That is our website. Make sure, if you guys are looking for salon furniture or anything, check out our partners, minervabeauty.com. Again, we're live on their Facebook as well. We're live here every single Tuesday, but I'm gonna be live a lot more because now it's really, my son's back in school, so I have a lot more free time. So let's see, let me grab my mouse so I can chat with you guys for 1 second using your comments finally, see if you have any questions. So any questions about anything, just shout them out. Let me see. There it is, it's working now. Let's see. Matt, can you use a razor under a long finger with crown section and 1 inch from the top? So Sherry, I think I know what you're talking about. Let me see if I have, so yes. This is where I'll go right here for you. So, I know, black hair, black shirt. So, one thing you can do when you have the razor, if you're working on shorter hair and you want to cut, like if I'm here, right? Normally we would cut with scissors like this and we would cut. I think this is what you're talking about. You can let me know if I'm wrong, but normally we cut like this to cut with a scissor. When I go in with the TriRazor, I go over top like this and I'll cut underneath my finger like this. So just kind of working through it. So what I would do is I would take a section, if I'm cutting through, and go like this, bring it up, and then I would just cut like this and work through the section like that and cut through it. Now, I like obviously being honest with all of you guys. I would probably go scissor for the majority of that cut, and then like I showed last week, when I go here, I could just take, once I've cut this with my scissors, then I can go through here, hold the hair like this, and then go with like my 25 texture and just pop a little bit of texture into this haircut. So I could go through diagonal sections, pop a little texture like that, take out 25% of the hair, and then you get movement throughout the haircut and that texture, but you still cut your precise haircut on top. Hopefully that makes sense. Love the layering, softness, and the shape. Wendy, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, tell me about spray wax, never heard of it. So I'll show you actually a little thing about it. So spray wax, all-time favorite product, by the way, but it sprays out, but it's a wax product. So basically any kind of like pomade that you guys like to use, this is lighter than that. It's got a more flexible hold and it's in a spray form, so it sprays over the hair and gives it a nice even consistency throughout the section, and you can kind of just mess the hair up and add that texture. So it's really good for, in my opinion, finer hair to medium hair, putting it in and just adding that texture. It's a great question, but I personally, I cut all the hair off before I get to the point where they're too damaged. Curly version, you could definitely do this curly. Same steps, same idea, maybe cutting it a little bit longer on each section because you got to counteract the how it's going to spring in a little bit and get shorter. So you wouldn't cut the same lengths, but you would just cut a longer version of it and you would get a similar result. Watching you from Las Vegas during my lunch break. Awesome, Sally. Thanks for watching on your lunch break. Can you see that haircut again? Did you record it? Yes. They're all recorded on Facebook. So you can watch it on Facebook. And then the shorter version will be recut up and posted on YouTube, Facebook, and our app, FSE Now. I want to buy the razor. How? So just go to the website that you see on the bottom of the screen, Shop FSE, and I will be thanking you as I see it coming through. Thank you so much. Do you have any tutorials for tips on cutting thin hair? This was a great one, Angela, so if you're just tuning in, I would rewind it and watch it back because I talk about it a lot. And then also just type in fine hair on our YouTube channel and you'll see a ton of different haircuts. Can I use a TriRazor and a bob haircut? 100%, and I will be showing that soon. I also have a couple bob haircuts with a TriRazor. Just look up TriRazor on our YouTube channel and you'll see it. Or on our Instagram. All right. Let me see. Sherry, I want the longest strands on the outer and the razor under each section, keeping more long under unrazored section visible. Razoring the top of the section looks like split ends in a week or so. Right on, Sherry. I appreciate the comment. I think as long as there's a difference between softer ends because of razoring and what a split end looks like. So I think with proper styling and proper cutting and using a brand new blade, I don't think you have to worry about that in my opinion. But I get what you're saying. And if you wanted a more blunt effect on the outer layers, then that's a great option. So you could use the texturizing sides to remove weight on the interior and then cut blunt with your scissor on the exterior. But if you point cut that exterior, you're going to get a very similar effect if you're doing things properly that you would with a razor doing that properly. Thanks, Tracy. I hope you're talking to me. I actually don't know. You might have been talking to somebody else, but I'll take it from me. What's the best technique to use for little guys who won't stay still very long? Speed. I gotta be honest. I do little guys' hair and I kind of base what that haircut's gonna be and how much is going into that haircut by how well they sit still. And I blame that on parenting a little bit. And so if they really don't sit still, then I get through it as quick as I can. And it might not be the best haircut that I've ever done, but I do my best at that haircut. And if they sit still, then they get a great haircut. But it's kind of like when somebody is on their cell phone while you're doing highlights or while you're giving them a haircut. And sometimes I tell them just to get off the phone, or sometimes I just cut around the phone. That's their choices in life, not mine. All right, cool. I think that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for purchasing a TriRazor. I really appreciate all of you guys that went on the store and bought one. It's great support for us and our free education. If you guys are ever looking for tools, go to shopfse.com. That's the best way to support what we're doing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. New videos, new classes, live classes all the time. Got Brian Harris coming up with a class on Thursday, so you guys can tune in to that. And I may be back live tomorrow as well. So we'll see. Just be on the lookout. Make sure you subscribe and you'll know if I'm on here live. All righty. That's a good, that's a great tip. Again, parenting, right? So coming up with helpful solutions, and that's really great. So You know, there's always something that you can do and the parent can do to help kids sit still no matter what. So most of the time kids are great and they get great haircuts. But if you have a kid that can't sit still or won't sit still, you know, there's always creative ways to do it. I actually had a parent back in the day that would give their kid, instead of lollipops, because they would get gross from haircutting, they would give them little pieces of cheese as they would get their haircut. It was cute and it worked. Yes. All right, I gotta go. On with life. But thank you guys so much. I will see you guys soon. Appreciate everything. And that's it. Call it a day. Goodbye.
Stars in the sky. Did we ever stop and wondered why we let our love shine all through the night? Just you and me, babe, until the morning light. The morning.